Growing up in small-town Mississippi, I was a little girl with big dreams, a love for sparkle, and an imagination that took me far beyond my small hometown. Even as a child, I was told that my body was wrong, that I took up too much space, that I didn't fit the mold. Beauty, as I saw it around me, was something defined that I would never see in the mirror. And so began a lesson society teaches many of us, that in order to fit in, we must shrink ourselves. Picture this, 6th grade, I'm signing up for my first beauty pageant. I was so excited, but truthfully, I had no idea what I was up against. I looked around at my other classmates, and in their eyes, I saw it. I was the fat girl, the one they dared not to stand too close to. Being friends with me was a gamble. As they shared their interests, the other contestants said, gymnastics, Tweety Bird. Sorry, you guys, I'm so nervous, but I'm so grateful. Thank you. So we're going to rewind it back because I don't want to forget this part. Unable to find a dress within my size and budget, my grandmother hired someone from church to give me my Cinderella moment. The other contestants shared their interests, cheerleading, gymnastics, and then there was me. I like hanging out with my family, swimming, and collecting Tweety Bird. Silence. The crowd, the judges. No one knew what to do with me. I didn't place. That night, I learned a powerful lesson that I had to spend years unlearning, that I couldn't trust the voice in my head, that I didn't belong, and that society wasn't ready to see me, let alone celebrate me. But here's the thing. That little girl that stood on that stage is the reason I'm standing on this stage today. Because belonging isn't something society decides for us. We can fight to decide that for ourselves. It took a long time, but as I grew up, I stopped asking why I couldn't fit into spaces I was told I didn't belong. Instead, I created my own space, my own path, and my own movement. 10 years ago, I founded F Your Beauty Standards, and it became a global call for change that was more than a hashtag. It was a movement for anyone who had ever felt invisible. I wasn't just shouting into the void anymore about self-acceptance. I had created a space where people like me could hear thousands of voices that relate to them and support them. People began reclaiming their right to be seen and heard, sharing images of their bodies, their beauty, and their power. Every post, every story was a testament that beauty isn't limited to a single standard. You see my journey from a small-town girl, imagining big dreams in a world that she was always told she was too much, to standing here today. It has taught me that change begins from within. If I had let their opinions dictate my worth, I wouldn't be here today. My confidence has brought me to places I never dreamt of, from billboards to boardrooms. Today, I am working with brands like Pinterest to help make their platforms safer and more inclusive by using AI technology. I helped H&M create campaigns that showcase real body diversity. I've even stood before the United Nations to talk about why representation is essential, and how body and mental health issues aren't just about beauty, but a true global health concern. But for me, it was never about just being in the room. It was about making sure that others got there as well. Because my fight isn't just about body. It isn't even just about me. It's about a brave, fierce belief that our voices matter. They say a rising tide lifts all boats, and when we fight for ourselves, we also fight for each other, and everyone wins. Like recently, I was sitting in a boardroom of a major global brand, the place where big decisions are made. I was there because they wanted to discuss with me how they could make the brand more inclusive. But as I looked around the room, there was one person remotely close to my size. Diversity can't just be a checked box. It has to be built into our foundations. Real change happens not just when we're in the room, but when we are valued, heard, and involved in the decision-making. Representation matters, and it changed the trajectory of my life, and it can change all of our lives. And it's a funny thing. When people ask me, how did you become successful? How did your life change in the way that it did? I nearly always say, delusion. And people laughed, like some of you. I know you're laughing, because it was funny, right? But really, some people do think I'm a bit delusional to feel like I belong. But that so-called delusion is what saved me. It's what gave me the audacity to believe I could change things. RuPaul once said, "What other people think of me is none of my business." Those words became my armor. On reality TV, they say, "I didn't come here to make friends." Well, I didn't come here to make anyone comfortable. I am here because I fought for my right to exist and be seen. My body is an act of resistance, a reminder that I don't need society's permission to take up space, and neither do you. You build your dreams on your own delusional terms. I had to believe in a world where I belonged and hold on to that vision until it became real. And there were so many moments that it did not feel real. Not when I was going to high school in an abandoned Walmart in Laurel, Mississippi. Not when I was going on model castings and they were telling me that I was too short and too fat as they laughed at me. And sometimes, not even now. Because loving yourself is the goal, but it's not perfect. Sometimes it's tolerating yourself. Sometimes when the voices around you are too loud, and trust me, you can look at my comments and DMs, there are plenty of them. The goal is continuing to stand up. So here I am, not because I fit society's definition of a supermodel, far from it, but because I refuse to let anyone define me. My body is an act of defiance, a declaration that I belong. If that little girl in Mississippi had seen someone like her on a magazine cover, maybe she wouldn't have felt so alone. So let's build a world where every person feels seen, valued, and heard. Which is easy to say, right? But how? Well, it starts by challenging the voices in our own head. Not only how we see ourselves, but how we see the world around us. So, let's do this. Close your eyes. Take a breath. And think about the time that you last judged someone for how they show up in the world. About their clothes, their education, their appearance. When was the last time that you judged someone for being too much? Was it today? Was it yesterday? Was it this evening when you sat down to listen to my speech? Because if it was recently, and let's be honest, it was for many of us, then we still have work to do. But it's wonderful work. work that will bring us closer together as a community. It's the work of reminding ourselves that we are all worthy. We can all build a future where every body, every ability, and every individual can exist. And no one, not strangers, online trolls, or an entire industry can take that away from us. Together, we can build a world where self-acceptance is the norm, where you don't have to apologize for being too much, where no one has to apologize. And you know what? In the end, I like being too much because it has given me an entire beautiful life. So take up space, own it all, and don't hold back. Trust me, the world will make room.